So Bob, do you like superhero movies? Like X-Men?
Well, wait. Why would I tell you whether I like superhero movies or not? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But maybe I don't want you to learn that I like superhero movies. Unless, of course, I like superhero movies and you like them too. And then we go and get to see a movie together.
So if I like superhero movies and you like superhero movies, then we would both be happy to admit to that?
Right. But if, say, I like superhero movies, but you don't, then I don't want you to learn that I like superhero movies.
Okay, so I think what we are trying to do here is to compute the AND.
Oh, why?
So if I like superhero movies, my input is 1. And if I don't like superhero movies, my input would be 0.
Okay, same for me. If I like superhero movies, then my input is a 1. And if I don't like superhero movies, then my input is a 0.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to compute the AND securely.
Okay.
So we both learn the output of that computation. We both learn the AND. But if your input is 0, then you don't really know whether I had a 0 or 1.
Right. And if your input is a 0, then you shouldn't learn whether my input was a 0 or a 1. Only if both our inputs are 1s, then we both learn that we get to see a movie together. Otherwise, nothing much.
So how can we do this? You tell me first.
Wait, no, Alice, if I tell you first, and if you don't like superhero movies, I again reveal my secret. No, first I should know whether you like them or not. Then I decide whether I tell you or I don't tell you.
So it's a little bit more complicated. So let's make a physical assumption.
Okay, let's make an assumption. What assumption do you have in mind, Alice?
So this seems quite reasonable to me. Let's assume that if you have your eyes closed, you cannot see.
Okay, if I close my eyes, then I cannot see. Makes sense. No peeking, right?
No peeking.
All right, no peeking.
So let's run the following protocol. If my input is 1, I'm going to keep my eyes open. But if my input is 0, I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay, and I do the same thing. If I like superhero movies, I get to keep my eyes open. If I don't, meaning my input is a 0, then I close my eyes and I don't see anything. Okay.
So I'll knock to start and end the protocol. Are you ready?
All right, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm ready. So here's the output. We're not going to the movies.
Yeah, so indeed.
I closed my eyes because I don't like superhero movies. And because I had my eyes closed, and Alice's assumption is that if your eyes are closed, you don't see anything, I didn't see anything. So I don't know if Alice likes superhero movies or not. The only thing I know is that we're not going to the movies.
So I do like superhero movies, so I had my eyes open, but indeed, Bob cannot see whether I had my eyes open or closed. So unfortunately, we're not going to go to the movies, but my input is safe.
So what we just demonstrated for you is a protocol for the secure evaluation of the AND function. But this is something that we could imagine trying to do much more generally, for any kind of function, not necessarily just the AND. So here's the general setup for the task of secure function evaluation. There's Alice and there's Bob. And both of them are trying to compute the same function, f. Everyone knows what the function is. But Alice has an input, x, that's secret to her, and Bob has an input, y, that is secret to him. Now, Alice should be able to put her input X into this protocol, and Bob puts his input Y into this protocol. And at the end of the protocol, each of them should learn the outcome, which is what the value of the function is evaluated at Alice's input X and Bob's input Y. So that's the correctness condition. Alice should learn f of xy, Bob should learn f of xy.
So of course, there's also some security definitions. Alice wants to be sure that whatever Bob is going to do in the protocol, he cannot learn more about her input x than he can infer by looking at the output f of x and y. And similarly, Bob wants to be sure that whatever Alice might be doing in the protocol, she cannot learn more about his input y than she can infer by looking at the output of the computation, f of x and y.
Alright, so here you're considering curious adversaries who shouldn't be able to learn information about the other party's input. But maybe you'd want to go a little bit further. What about if, say, Alice is trying to influence Bob's outcome, meaning that she somehow has some value for f in mind, and she wants to force him to think that the outcome of the function f is a particular value?
Yeah, so in our example, I really like superhero movies and I would really like to go to the movies. So even if Bob's input is 0, it would be great if I could just force the output of the computation to be 1. And Bob would be forced to go to the movies with me.
But then that shouldn't be possible, right? Because if I don't like superhero movies, the output of the AND should be a 0, and there should be no way that you can force me to go to see the movie.
So we want one extra condition, namely that whatever value the output of the computation takes, it is actually consistent with the protocol. So let's say that the output of the computation is A, then I want to be sure that there exists some input y for Bob such that A is equal to f of x, y.
So that's the task of secure function evaluation.
So of course, in general, we are not sitting here at the table where we can keep our eyes open or closed, but we want to solve this task by just communicating over some communication channel, even if we're very far apart.
So we'll show you how this physical assumption that we used as a dummy assumption for this module can be realized using quantum information over a quantum communication channel.